small part about the piglets. Now you use our products, nurse milk.
Nurse milk.
And you use raw milk or orange. Now we say before weaning, there are 5 reasons to feed your piglets before weaning. Feed, because of course they drink milk from the mother, but besides milk from the mother, to feed. Now, the last 3 reasons are for all farms, and that's learning to eat, so they get used to eat. With eating, they also learn to digest feed, not only to digest milk, but also the elements which are in feeds. And together with eating, they also learn drinking water, because that also is needed after weaning. Now this is important for all farms, and the first 2 are only for high productive farms who have not enough milk, so it might be in circumstances with hot weather when you have too low milk production. Then you feed to help them survive and to have a higher weaning weight. Now that's important always to look first at the milk production of the sow itself, and the products you use are different. For the first 2 reasons, so helping them survive and promoting weaning weight, for these type of customers, we use the nurse milk, or we also have the nurse milk. Now here it's written how we can use it. It can be used dry or liquid, and milk you can start earlier. Meal you start something a little bit later. So it depends on the situation which one you use.
I have a question. When we teach the piglet to eat, is mesh meal better or pellet diet better? Mesh or pellet? Because in some commercial companies like Cargill, they prefer pellet. Yeah, but in Taiwan, where home is, they always use the mesh.
Before weaning, mesh gives better intake. After weaning, at the end, pellet gives better intake.
Okay.
And why is this? Mesh they smell better, and it sticks to the mouth, so it's more easy to learn eating for younger piglets. But after weaning, when the consumption is getting higher, it's easier to take pellets in. So after weaning, the feed intake with pellets is better.
So they purchase from the large-scale female like a Cargill, Great City, they have the pellet. But in home market, always mesh meal.
And do they feed the home the mesh with the water together, or is it separate water and separate the mesh?
Depends on the equipment. Yeah, sometimes they off into the water. So the feeder has a special design when the one is there not to push the feeder will come, then the water will go into. Yeah, but sometimes in summer the pig will easy to spoil. Yeah, so we prefer separate, not feed the mix together. Yeah. But I know in summertime the liquid diet has a more big impact. Yeah.
So for helping survive and promoting the growth of the piglets, we use the milk. And for these 3 reasons, we use the Romelco 2, Romelco orange.
Orange. But that is, you have pellet here, but they have mesh.
Yeah. I didn't change the picture.
No problem. They have a mesh, and it is also in pellets available.
We also, that's in between, we have crumble.
Also
an option. Yeah. Now I just mentioned about the most important period in the sow's life. It's around farrowing. The most important period for a pig, a fattening pig, is around weaning. And I tell to every customer I tell this, you have to be able to, when I wake you up in the middle of the night, you have to remember 500 grams.
Okay, so that's very important.
So 500 grams before weaning in total, per piglet in total before weaning, and 500 grams in the first 3 days in total after weaning. It's quite easy to measure. But what I often explain to when you feed Romelco orange before weaning, you count the bag you use and the number of piglets you wean in one compartment, and then you can calculate the intake before weaning. And after weaning, it's even more easy. I explain, just put in 500 grams per piglets, like you have in one pen 10 piglets, so put 5 kilo in one feeder, and they should have eaten it in 3 days. So it's easy to measure.
Sometimes in Taiwan, they are worried about nutrition diarrhea when piglet eat too much because the Romelco 2 didn't contain any antibiotics.
No.
So maybe you can tell us how.
I will come back. I will explain. You are too fast. The reason for I explained learning to digest is before weaning they have enzyme lactase to digest the milk from the mother, but the production of this enzyme decreases in the period of time. These are the weeks. At 4 weeks they wean. They need pepsin, trypsin to digest protein, and they need amylase and maltase to digest starch. So this is the soy, this is the maize or byproducts. So with feeding before weaning, you help them to produce more of this enzyme already. So when they are weaned, they are more able to digest the feed. That's important. But also, you stimulate the intake after weaning. Because after weaning, you often see that the villi and the microvilli, when the feed intake is too low, the length of the villi and the microvilli decreases. And also they get damaged. And because of the damage, bacteria are able to reach the bloodstream. So feed intake in the first period after weaning, so that has to do with learning to eat, has a big effect on the health of the microvilli. And I already saw there's a screen behind, so I often we see this is the level of feed. And these are the days, and further, we see that the feed intake after weaning is too low. They get hungry, they start to eat, then it drops again, and then it increases again. What happens? The intestine is damaged. What do they get here? Do you know? What do you see at day 3, 4, 5?
After weaning?
This is after weaning, yeah. This is weaning. Zero is weaning.
Then you already mentioned the word, I think. A lot. Start with D?
Starts with a D.
Digestion problem.
Yeah, digestion problem, diarrhea. So here you see diarrhea. They feel sick. Intestinal wall is damaged. Feed intake drops again. Then they start eating again. And bacteria are able to pass the intestinal wall. And here you get oedema. Streptococcus, you know maybe streptococcus, oedema. Sometimes biting or necrosis, you see sometimes. But it all happens in this part. Do you recognize this? So what we want is the intake like this. And we know when it's here 500 grams in these first 3 days, 100, 150 and 250. Day 1 100 grams, day 2 150 and day 3 250. But it's a little bit like this, but this is the perfect line. That's okay, half kilo in the first 3 days.
The risk bit of giving the 500 in the first day is not that they will overeat, like Daniel says, and then is one of the reasons that they will have diarrhea then also or not? Or is limitation not necessary?
Yeah.
You got my point?
Yeah, I got your point. Yeah. And when they eat here the 500 grams, so they don't start here, but they start here, and you still see diarrhea at that point, I say switch to the next feed at day 2 or 3. Stimulate or the Romelco orange is a very dense feed. It's very palatable and very tasty, so it supports the feed intake. But it might be that day 3, 4 it's too dense and the feed intake is getting too high. Then I prefer switching to a next feed and also make a composition to prevent in this phase the diarrhea. So when the consumption is too high, then switch to the feed after. Because the Romelco orange is, in some situations, it's too good. So what you see is that they eat 500 grams, but when you remain feeding the Romelco orange, that after the feed intake gets too high of it, and then better switch to another feed with some more antibacterial elements. It will come in my presentation also what we can do to prevent more.